Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, the millions and millions of fans out there. Don't worry, the rock bit off me. I didn't bite off the rock. That's true, because I do have the millions of fans out there. Check out my website at homeinvadersrightshow.com, and you'll find out that I do have a lot of people following me. And if you don't be silly. Follow me anyway. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's nice to have you back once again. Your host is, as always, Hector Bosa, the hardest, baddest, sexiest man on cable access TV. Bring what down? Oh, okay. Don't worry. I'm sorry. The over-talking is incredible here. My crack staff is doing a wonderful job, as always. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to entertain you. Like I said before, it's a blessing to be here one more time to say hi to you guys. And don't forget to say hello to your loved ones, because you never know what's going to happen to them later on. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm here, the hardest, baddest, sexiest man on cable access TV. If you want to be here, I'm doing this from the beginning, and I'll probably do this in the middle and the end. If you want to come on my show, check me out at Hector Bosa, Facebook, or homeinvadersrightshow.com, or I think I'm on Twitter at Mr. Home Invaders. So check me at 3. You're better off checking me on Facebook. I'm the Facebook king, so check me out there. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 great guests on the show. 2 great guests. All guests are great because they know how to talk, Unless you don't know how to talk, you're not a great guest. But I have on my left Jules Asperti. I hope I didn't blow that name. Asperti, okay. And on my right, Mr. David-Bolds. So let's give him a hand. Thank you guys for giving the hand. Thank you. Thank you for the late. Thank you so much. Thank you. Too kind, far too kind. Please. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're here. So let me ask you from left to right, since I started with you. How you been?
Pretty good.
How have you been, sir?
I've been pretty good too.
Good to know that 2 people are good here. So let me ask you. What are you going to do today?
I'm going to be playing and singing some original songs that I wrote.
And how did you come up with the original songs?
Well, I started writing songs when I was a freshman in high school, and now I'm a freshman in college. Mm-hmm. And I've been writing songs ever since. And recently, this past year, I've been working on an EP of mine. Mm-hmm. So these songs I'm playing today.
What's an
EP? An EP, it's like an album, only it's shorter.
Right.
Usually from like 4 to 7 songs, and it's kind of just a reflection of someone's work.
Oh, okay. So where do you get the opportunity? Not where you get the opportunity to write the songs, but where does the inspiration to come up with the words and the rhythm?
Well, I take my inspiration from a lot of different places. Okay. So I wrote a song about the election. I felt really inspired and influenced by that. I also have another song.
Nobody's inspired by that. Nothing will. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I also sometimes I'll hear a word or a phrase and I'll think that would be amazing for a concept for a song or something.
Oh, you mean like the hardest, baddest, sexiest man on cable access TV, Hector Bosa?
Yeah, it's a good one.
I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to at least hearing my name in a song. So, David, let's hear about you. Come on. You've had experience. You've had a lot of experience because we talked before.
Yes.
And what was your first starting? Because people got to know how you got started. Because that was cool.
All right. When I first started, I was a youngster, about 10 years old. Wow. And I was a part of Africa Bambaataa in the Almighty Zulu Nation back in the middle 70s.
Ooh,
and then that's where I started my whole love of hip hop for the music industry in general, for the music industry back then.
Yeah.
And it's been a love of mine since 10 years old, and I'm still loving the music today. It's in my heart. Right. I didn't do it for the money. I did it for the love.
Right. Was it your family? Was somebody in your family talented, or you just gravitated to? Or was it any friends that said, "Okay, this is what I want to do"?
Yes, it was a guy named by Garfield. I remember the day. I don't want to make it too long.
Yeah.
Try to simplify it as much as possible. I was laying in my bed, and this guy named Garfield Dorsey came to my house and knocked on the door and said, "David, do you want to go to a party in Bronx River?" I said, "A party? I'm too young to get into a party. I can't go to a party." He said, "No, just come with me." And then we went down to Bronx River and in the Bronx, New York, and that's the home of hip hop. Anyway, that's where hip hop started at. And I was like, what is this? What is this? And then I went into the community center, and then that's when I seen African Bambaataa, Soul Sonic Force, DJ Red Alert from 98.7 KISS back then, and I was like, wow. And then ever since then, I just fell in love with it, and here I am today.
That's fantastic. Same with you. Where did you get that inspiration? Who's your mentor, if any?
I guess a lot of the teachers I have in school, a lot of the music teachers, and I guess my family and like artists that I listen to and I really like.
Who's your artist? Who do you like?
I really love Regina Spektor. She's like a big idol of mine. I love her style. I also listen to a lot of Hiatus Kaiyote and Lauryn Hill.
Okay, now for those people that don't know Kaiyote and the other lady, what do they sing? What type of genre? Because the thing is, nowadays you have to be in a genre. It just can't be music. You have to be in a particular genre. So where do they fit in?
Hiatus Kaiyote, it's kind of like funk. Lauryn Hill is like hip hop R&B.
Yeah, well, Lauryn Hill, but Kaiyote is funk, and the other person you mentioned?
Regina Spektor. She's a singer-songwriter. A lot of her albums are all different genres. Like one album was like anti-folk, other albums are singer-songwriter.
Yeah, because I know your family is pretty up there when it comes to music. Your mother is acting and acting, singing, so it's something, boy. Stuff. Yeah. And the same with you. I mean, you've had an interesting life yourself because you started with going with African Bambaataa. You saw the world, like you said. You might not have but you got the knowledge and you got the friendship, and that's what counts, right? So don't forget to say yes to the mic.
Yes, indeed.
But and it's fun. So where does this journey take you after you see them? Where does the David Bolds become? I am the mighty David Bolds. Now here I am.
But I don't even look at myself like that. I just want to be a regular person, and the opportunity has been given to me, and I like to just give the opportunity to somebody else, because I would like one day, when I'm going to leave the world one day, and I like to give somebody else an opportunity to make their dreams come true.
Yeah.
It was given to me, so now I'm going to give it to somebody else.
That's what I try to do with this show, too. I try to give people the opportunity to do what they want to do, because there aren't that many. I mean, YouTube's out there and so forth, but there aren't that many opportunities out there that people will see. And you take advantage of anything you can get. I mean, if people are offering you a plate, don't refuse it. If you're hungry enough to eat anything, That's the way I look at it. I don't know if that's the way you look at it too,
Yes. It was told to me by Ice-T, East Coast manager, Mr. Mickey Benton. He's been Ice-T's manager on the East Coast for over 30-something years. Yeah. He said, David Bolds, he calls me every single day. He said, keep on working hard, because the pipe is going to bust. Pressure bust things. Pressure bust that pipe. That pipe is, you're going to keep on pushing. That pipe is going to bend, and then obviously one day it's going to bust.
Right.
And it's bust.
Right. No, that's cool, because we got to ask you more questions. But at this point in time, it's funny how life goes on, because do you remember your first performance? Where did you first perform?
Where did I first perform?
Or besides your family? You did perform in front of your family. I'm sure they have
my living
pictures.
room,
Yeah, exactly. Hey, most people started in the bathroom because of the acoustics, okay?
Yeah.
Boys to Men started in the bathroom because of the acoustics.
Yeah.
But where?
I guess little open mics in like coffee shops and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. You know, once in a while, you got to hear me sing because I'm going to become famous one day. Not that I'm not famous now because I am the hardest bad 60 man of cable access TV. I would like to say that. Right, Miriam? And thumbs up, Miriam. Thank you. But David, you say you know a lot of people, and you've known a lot of people, and you said you worked with Ice-T. What's happening with that?
Well, I work with his manager, Mr. Mickey Benson.
Right.
You know, Mickey Benson, he brought me on his team under Payup Records, and I'm the A&R for Payup Records.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people really didn't know that because I don't really say nothing.
Right.
That's why I keep my ears and eyes open, like this young lady right here.
Yeah, for talent, right?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Oh, you're not looking at me for talent. You're looking at
Yeah.
look at
I got a contract right here for you.
Okay, the contract. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad. I got Shyster and Shyster's got to look at it.
Yeah.
No, but go ahead, continue.
It's 100 pages.
Oh, I can't read one with this alcohol in me. No,
Okay.
no, but continue with the Ice-T, and I know he's got an album coming out too.
Yeah. He got Icy has the album that just came out, Bloodlust. Bloodlust album just dropped, and I think it was number 5 in the UK if I'm not mistaken.
How old
Wow.
is Ice-T right now?
I don't know.
But he's up there. He's up there because
Yeah.
I remember him with NWO. Because do you get surprised when a guy? Because it's always about age.
Right.
Sometimes that a guy of that age is dropping albums.
He's still dropping albums. He's still relevant in what he's
Nice.
doing.
Exactly, he's still relevant. Oh, Cool J is still relevant.
Yes.
He became relevant, and some of the commons become relevant, and Ludacris has become relevant. There's a lot of, and I've noticed this too throughout the years because, like you said, with African Bot and so forth, back in the day they didn't know about the business side of it.
No, they didn't.
Now these guys are smartening up and they're getting paid left and right. So, you know what? This is a great conversation. But right now, let's go to Jules singing. So go ahead, Jules. And she's going to sing one of her two great songs. She's going to sing 2 great songs, right? Two original songs, ladies and gentlemen. So, without further ado, let's take it to for some reason it's on David, but that's okay. David, I'm going to introduce Jules Asperti. Is it Asperti? One day I'll get it right. I gotta get loaded. That's probably it. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Jules Asperti.
This one is called Air. Well, I followed snakes and ladders where beyond the sky was scattered, and I wondered if it mattered. Mischievous, ancient smell of a magician on the road sought his mission. I tried so hard to listen, and visions must be shared. We saw the prophets' ignorance. They made us surrender to their service. I started to feel nervous. The secrets are so bare. Now it's time for the turning. The lessons we are learning. We have to separate the burning from the cool air. We saw the thousands preach your secrets. The slave was weakened. Life is just a season. Better make it worth the living. Egocentric thunder roaring butterfly begin their morning. Faith has died from ambition. I
tried so hard to listen, and visions must be shared. We saw the prophets' ignorance. They made us surrender to their service. I started to feel nervous. The secrets are so bare. Now it's time for the turning, the lessons we are learning. We have to separate the burning from the cool. Thanks, guys. One more? Yep, one more. All right. This one's called Dizzy. We'll live in a house that time forgot. Lemon drops will sit on our countertops. Stay up late, drinking red wine. Our teeth get stained, somehow yours still shine. You make me dizzy, and darling, you keep me from getting chilly. And we've got this attraction that makes us a complicated fraction. I've been comfortably falling for years. Down a floral tunnel, I skip over the puddles, get to you. I'll see you in our house, our timeless little house. I'll come close to you and confess. You make me dizzy, and darling, you keep me from getting chilly.
like fuck you, I hate you, I love you, I want you, I need you right now. What am I supposed to do with this right now? I'm caught between the two of them right now. Situation. It's just a situation. Situation. I got two of them trying to be in my corner. One I'm crushing on, the other I adore. I'm not sure what to do. Man, I'm just so confused. I'm taking, but I want you. I think you wasted all my time. You wasted it. Why you keep blowing up my light? You blowing it up. This situation got me cutting tight. But I can't seem to take you out my mind. You say I wasted all your time. Why you keep blowing up my mind? This situation got me cutting tight. But I can't seem to take you out my mind. I'm trying to move on, but you won't let me go. You just a bad head. I gotta let you go. You got me sipping all of that goose. I'm about to let loose. Crazy, I'ma show you that. Playing games gon' hold me back. If I break your heart, you have a heart attack. When I'm on the road doing shows, you'll think I'm fucking these hoes. Be steady tripping all the time and keep blowing that line. I'm steady asking for chances, but I had no more to get mine. You might got them options. They don't know the real you, and you is a distraction. I can't be seen in public with you. You be talking shit on social media. Tryna let your fans see me or hear me up. But I ain't got time for that bullshit. No, I ain't got time for no bullshit. I think you wasted all my time. You wasted it. Why you keep blowing up my light? You blowing it up. This situation got me cutting tight. But I can't seem to take you off my mind.
Since I'm from Chicago, I gotta do this one time. So, I don't know if this is too crazy.
Hey, clap it up, ladies and gentlemen. We just heard Jules Asperti, and we had a great rapper and so forth too. And now we're in Film Talk, the segment where we educate you about film.
At least we tried.
We tried to education about film. We tried to educate you guys and educate you guys of film. So let me introduce Miriam Silver to my right, who is an author and also an accomplished author, hopefully an award-winning author one day, and also a you into MediaQuest.com, correct? Mm-hmm. And so forth. So so she's a writer and she's got her own podcast, so listen to it. But we have her here as a blessing. So what are we talking about today?
Well, this is just one of my other passions.
Yes, exactly.
Talking about film or the history of film, the genres. But since we were going to research the history of animation,
yes,
which is really fascinating. And
it was cool, wasn't it?
Oh, it was really. I'm glad because this was your idea.
Yeah.
Because I'm more into film. He's into animation.
I'm into a lot of things.
But what was interesting is the history of it and how there were so many devices that were being used to simulate movement because people needed to do something in the parlor back in the 16, 17, 1800s, which I guess there was no film at that point. What did they do to entertain themselves?
Exactly.
They were always trying to look for optical devices that would help them simulate movement and images.
Yeah, because back then they had not the speakeasies yet, but they had the burlesque and so forth back then. When some of the old guys like Jack Benny, Bill Cosby.
Were you talking about the vaudevillian
period?
Okay, that was the early 1900s.
Yeah, so that's the only. That's probably the only entertainment. Well, even back then in the Roman days with Caesar.
Boy, we really went back.
But
Between the flap into the Roman days, we were quickly.
And Rosanna's favorite play, Hamlet.
Hamlet.
Hamlet is
Yeah.
Rosanna's favorite.
Hamlet is a great play. But so we're going to look at some of the earliest devices. So,
Yes.
and plate number one, we're going to look at some early devices that they used in the beginning to simulate animated movement of stilled images.
Right.
And so we'll have that plate up in just a second. So,
Yeah, so bring up the play while we continue talking. So,
oh, here it is.
So,
So, it started with, in 1640, the magic lantern, which projected animation and pictures on sheets of glass. We went to the thaumatrope, which was a French invention, again, like an optical toy that used discs in order to, that was attached between two strings in order to create movement. You had the phenakistoscope. That also was an animation device that also consisted of discs and rotating them, putting them into slots.
but they also had to. They also had to paint them on there. Right?
Yeah, well, that was
or
where
they had to use film. Or they used
well,
film
no,
to
no,
do
film
the-
film wasn't really established much later. In fact, animation didn't progress until film became became an industry in itself.
Right.
Then we went to the zoetrope, which was another optical toy that consisted of a cylinder with a series of pictures on them,
Exactly.
and that had slits that gave the impression of continuous motion. So when we went to next plate, we progressed to
And the
the
next
18.
plate, what food is on it?
Yeah, right. we got that. Yeah, we get into the 1800s. You probably want to pull out a little more because there's a few other things on.
Well,
unless,
don't
of
worry
course,
about it.
I
Let-
made
let-
that way too big for the thing.
That's okay. Just talk
But
what you can.
these also, you have the Praxnoscope, which was also another cylinder type, which was created by a science teacher, Emile Reynard, who also created a projection device for it that helped to bring animation to the public.
There it is.
And this, when we got
Thank you,
into,
guys.
when we got brought forward into history into the latter part of the 1800s, you had the kinetoscope from
yes.
Alva Edison, which allowed images to be I guess portable in a way, so that people could go to a place and actually see some of the earliest
Yeah.
films. And it was almost like the early arcades, except
Yeah.
it was film as opposed to games.
Yeah, they had the penny arcades.
Yes,
And Tesla,
yes.
Tesla said he did it too, but
Well, I'm
Tesla
sure.
and Edison always had a battle.
Well, I'm sure Tesla got there first, as we all know. Then cinematograph from the Lumiere brothers, which really advanced the film industry forward, and that's when animation started to really progress in history. So when we get to plate 3, we're going to see rotoscoping, which is one
You're
of
gonna
the.
fatten me up.
Yes, I'm going to. How does rotoscoping have to do with fattening up? I have no idea. Edward Muybridge was a really fascinating photographer in the early period of the late 1877 to 1878.
Yeah.
He was fascinated with animal locomotion, and he created. He had a project to figure out whether
Yeah.
horses actually, when they run, do they ever lift off the
Lift
ground?
free, yeah.
Do all their legs lift off the ground at one
Exactly.
time? And he found out through 20 cameras set up in time,
Right.
in turn, he found out that they actually do. There's a few seconds where they are actually practically in flight.
There's a conspiracy theory on that, though.
Conspiracy?
Yeah,
What,
they're saying that it's not true, but some of them.
How is that possible,
but,
though, if you really look at
Trust
horses
me,
running?
10 people will say no, 10 people will say yes. You know, they all think they got PhDs. So trust me.
Yeah, but this was one of the first examples of stop motion photography. Then we get into Trip to the Moon with George Méliès, who,
Yeah,
as you
Méliès.
know,
Yes.
was really into using stop action imagery in his movies.
He was very instrumental.
Oh,
too.
he was.
And
he
if
was
you want to
fascinating.
see about George Méliès, see Hugo.
Oh well, yeah.
See the
Hugo was a
movie Hugo.
great movie.
Hugo is a very good movie.
Then we get into pixelation. We had a movie back in Spain in 1905 to 1908 called The Electric Hotel, where pixelation was being used, where the animators can make objects move throughout the frame, which was a. See, it's amazing to see how people who were pioneering had no understanding of what they were doing, but they had an idea. And without even the technology that we have today, they created really fascinating new realities, which was really amazing.
I have to tell you something, and that is some of the stuff that they're creating with CGI and so forth, sometimes the old stuff is the better stuff.
Yeah, it's
you
really
know,
fascinating.
It's fascinating how they used to do it. And it looked more realistic now then than it does now for certain things.
Yeah, and then that last plate that we had humorous phases of funny faces. This was all a person just drawing out images on a blackboard,
Right.
and you would see he would do stop motion photography to create action on that. Then there was a German, this was really fascinating. The last man is a German-born abstract animator, Oscar Fischinger. He was inspired by abstract art dominated in the 1920s using shapes and sounds, creating shifting color fields. And he was instrumental in one of the sequences in Fantasia from 1940.
Yeah.
However, Disney took it over, and I think he did his own thing, and then I think the artist didn't want to have his name on or something like that. But it was the Toccato and Fugue sequence, minor D, that he had his hand in.
They had some good music on there. I was just never into it.
Yeah, it was.
I was a kid at the time. Yeah.
Now I have an example of a little over a minute example of of a cartoon we're going to listen to or watch. 1908, Phantasmagoria.
All right, cool. Hey, how's it going, everybody? I hope you enjoyed that.
Okay, yeah, this
clip.
was a film using hand-drawn animation,
Yeah,
which was
that
the
must have been
earliest
something.
type of animation. Now, if we go to the next plate, we're going to see, as we have just talked about Phantasmagoria,
Yeah.
which was a Frenchman by name of Emile Cole had done this. He did, I think, like over 300 films using hand-drawn animation.
Right.
Then we go into Felix the Cat from 1914, who became like a film star, an animated film star,
Was he
probably
one
the
of
first one.
Was he one of the earliest, or was it Bugs Bunny, him,
Oh,
or
well,
was it?
Well, no,
Mickey
it had to been
Mouse?
him.
Okay.
Felix the Cat
Felix the
from
Cat.
1914. But he became a series after
Yeah.
soon after that. Then you had Crazy Cat, which was based on a cartoon, a newspaper comic strip by George Harriman that showed up in the Hearst newspapers.
Right.
Then when we got to Disney, Steamboat Willie from 1928 was the first synchronized sound.
But there was a controversy with that Steamboat Willie. They said there was a guy that supposedly he did Steamboat Willie first, and he gave it to Disney. I don't know what the thing was, but again, there's a conspiracy theory there, because they're saying Disney said that he did it himself, and he got Steamboat Willie from someone else. And the guy was saying, "No, this is my property," and they battled it out. And
Yeah,
the big six always win.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but if you go back to that play, we advance over to 1917 with Max Fleischer Studios, they used rotoscoping, which was a device that they patented themselves in order to, it was a means of using to capture live action images. So Betty Boop became like the big personality from the 20s to the 30s.
Yeah,
at that
she
time.
was hot back then. She was
Yeah,
a
I
hot
love
cartoon,
Betty
back
Boop.
then,
If you
yeah.
look at Betty Boop, you really get an idea of what the 20s and 30s were a bit
Right,
about,
yeah.
because you saw the imagery. The only problem with rotoscoping, though, it tended to make the images very stiff.
Yeah.
So they felt it was only good for researching and,
Yeah.
and putting together the human.
And it was
figure,
hard
the-
doing it by hand. Some of the when
Yeah.
they used the plates and so forth, doing it by hand,
Yeah.
it took hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
So they did a lot of work.
So now we're going to go to the last one, which is like modern animation. We had in 1932 Disney's Flowers and Trees, which was a 3-strip Technicolor.
Yeah.
We went to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 37, which was the first animated feature to use hand-drawn animation, and also the first animation to receive a wide Hollywood-style
Yeah,
release.
yeah.
He was really dramatically going into a different route at that point, Disney. And then actually 1940 with Fantasia, and they used abstract patterns, superimposed shadows, animated lines, live action figures as well.
Yeah. Would
so
you
they-
recommend seeing that movie?
I mean, I love the colors in it. I'm
Right.
very much in, because I'm very visual, so
Right,
the
right.
colors are really what draws me.
Yeah.
I think, and the layering of all that. of
You
that
have to have a
imagery.
lot of patience
Right.
for that movie.
Yeah. But then if you also Wallace and Gromit from the
Yeah.
80s,
Love that. Loved it.
stop motion animation with claymation.
Right.
Really, really fascinating. I have to take a look at it myself because when I was researching, I said, I think I've seen it, but I don't think I've actually watched it. And it looked like it was a very, it's from the Aardman animations in Britain. And then naturally we advanced to CGI for 1995, Toy Story, Pixar Animation Studios, which brought into development the computerized animation technology, which helped really with the dimensions and the visual depth of animation itself. And it's amazing. They say that in 2008, the animation industry was reported to be worth $68.4 billion alone, and that was before Frozen came out. So imagine what it's like now, 9 years later.
You know what?
So it's...
No, that's a lot because what they did with the Lion King and so forth.
Yeah.
Cartoons had to advance a lot. They don't throw away things anymore like they used to, which is good. I felt so for Méliès and some of the other people that put things on film, but because of the war, they needed it for souls and so on. But
Yeah.
it's a fantastic thing. I think people should look at some of this. So I hope you appreciate some of the stuff that we're bringing to you guys because this is very knowledgeable. So I thank you for that, Miriam.
Oh, you're welcome.
So
It was fascinating.
yeah, so if people want to contact you once again, where can they contact you?
Well, I'm on mquestmedia.com.
Okay, and don't forget she's a film writer and an author.
Film
And-
written. Well, I haven't written a film yet, but
Don't worry, but hopefully.
maybe that's a prophetic message.
Yeah, exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's go to the next thing.
The songs that shit, it made grown men admit that they're fans of me.
That's pretty good, catchy.
All of my art sound like these for some reason, regrettably. Fefery. These girls dance so jerky, they look like they're hurting their hips and knees. Stole their clothes from the fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
You did not just take my clothes.
I'm running late, so these skanky young ladies will twerk for you.
Who you calling skanky?
Did I just say skanky? I meant to say spanky and super cute.
That's better.
Why are they dancing like they all need to use the ladies' room? Buzz me up, I'm downstairs in the lobby.
What? You're breaking up. We can't hear you. Bye.
It's not like me to be this tardy. Now I'm gonna miss the butt slapping party. I can hear it. I wonder why they're dancing so wobbly. Oh, I bet it's 'cause I gave them all crabs. They're trying to shake them out of their pants.
Itchy.
Pinchy, pinchy, pinch, pinchy, pinchy, pinchy.
Yeah, I know I gave you all STDs, but can we keep this between us, please? Those girls got mad and knocked me on the head and left me for dead. I'm buried alive while they're in my spotlight doing the stanky leg. Stank, stank! You go was a cheap car, I go was a film.
What?
I'm losing air, what I said there was utter nonsense. I just remembered I know karate.
Focus, Biba-san.
I do the coffin punch that you taught me.
Choppy chop, chop, choppy chop.
Good thing I have so many hobbies. Now the coffin's cracking, I'm almost out. I think a worm just fell in my mouth. You beat me like I was paparazzi.
What is he? OMG, he's a Bieber zombie. Shoot him in the head. He's dead, but he's still kind of a hottie.
Just one thing before you blow my brains out. Is it too late to say sorry now?
I guess not.
Then I'm sorry.
That makes everything better. Zombies are hot. He can bite me.
I can score with dancers, models, and MILFs, even when I'm covered in filth.
We love you, Zombie Bieber zombie, Bieber.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? This is Hector Bosa. I haven't drank yet, but I'm gonna start soon because I'm already, do what I do best. I'm here with beautiful women. And smart women at that too, empowered women. They know what they're talking about. They have books. They can do it all in my little shopping mall as well. But we're here, so introduce yourself, please, by all means.
Hi, my name is Blanca Bayer, and I wear a lot of hats under the holistic arena. Thank you so much for introducing the books. I'm an author, self-help author of a dozen or so books. And I do healing work. I run these beautiful expos. I'm a medium, and I love to be of service.
Okay, so let me ask you, with the books, what made you start with the books?
It was a yearning, you know what? I had a debilitating illness when I first started my journey, and as soon as I recovered from that journey, I was told that I had to write, and I had no idea how to even begin. But I just trusted, you know, that it was going to filter through me, and that's exactly what happened, you know. I wrote my first book, and I've never stopped.
Now, what does your books consist of?
They're primarily self-help, you know, to help someone to find a spiritual path, to heal from emotional wounds, from emotional blockages, to grow, to expand, you know, emotionally, spiritually.
When did you know you had the gift? I know I'll probably be saying that along for a while, but when did you start knowing that you had the gift?
I didn't know, although if I look back, now I could see that when I was a child, I had a lot of messages, you know, but they didn't make sense. But I discovered it when I was 33. You know, I realized, again, I was ill, and I had a lot of visions, and I was visited by a divine deity who said to me that I was going to be a healer. And I realized then that, oh my God, you know, like this is something divinely orchestrated, you know.
So are you a tarot card reader, or do you do a little bit of everything?
I do. You know, I call myself a gypsy, or sometimes Sybil, because I do tarots, I write, I do healings, I'm a medium, I do these events.
And you turn your head around like Sybil?
That's the only thing I don't do. Yeah, right? But you know what? I like to tell people that we are all multidimensional, you know, and that it's us who allow ourselves to just be labeled that I'm this or that, right? We can be many things.
Now, what made you start the conventions? Because I see it's a big hit, by the way.
No, thank you. You know what? It started as an experiment. I had students, and, you know, we decided on the first expo, let's just do an experiment and see how the island responds. And we haven't stopped. It went from 16 presenters to 22 presenters to 30 presenters to 40. You know, it's just really amazing, the response.
In your life, when you first started seeing, now you said you saw a divine person. Can you explain that?
I saw the Christ, actually, the Christ. And I was born and raised Catholic. But now, of course, I practice no religion. I embrace all of them. But the Christ himself actually came to me in my darkest moment. I was debilitated with a illness that they could not diagnose, and I could not walk, talk. I was debilitated for a year, laid in bed. And I thought I was dying. And in that moment, in my worst moment, the Christ just came to me and said, you're going to heal, This was an initiation, and when you get better, we're going to tell you what you need to do.
Now, let me ask you, since you consider yourself a medium too?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what do you see right now? Can you read me right now?
Well, you know what? That's a great thing. I can't.
Okay.
And why I don't do, as a matter of fact, I had an afterlife event scheduled for today, and I canceled it because I need to really be able to connect. Right now, we're sitting here with all of this energy, and in truth, it should be a bridge between me and the person. You know, like I could try, but it's going to take a lot of effort on my part to create a bridge. You know, and so to me, the medium work is about intimacy, because it really allows the space, intimacy. You know, in other words, you know, so I could really connect with people, and so that the other side can really come in.
Because that takes a lot of energy to take out.
Because really, what we're doing is we're raising our vibration, like almost taking an elevator to a higher frequency, right? A medium usually is able to do that, right? But now there has to be a frequency between the medium, the afterlife, and the person or the people. And so there's a lot of, you know, the energy frequency has to really be optimal. Like, I would never try to read somebody, because we would get all of this, you know, static energy.
So let me ask you, how did you start with the convention, or what made you have the idea of starting it? Well, we do need stuff on Staten Island to do, by the way, and I'm grateful for that you're doing something for Staten Island, because I think Staten Island's a little boring sometimes, but at least it's something to do. It broadens people's minds, correct? And you have different types of people here.
Right, I love it. You know, it gives people from Staten Island, well, I was inspired to do it in Staten Island. It's my hometown. I started my practice here, and I don't know, I'm just guided that the island should become much more expansive, you know, because a lot of other boroughs and other city-states are much more open to the balance.
Open-minded.
Yeah, to the balance of allopathic, traditional medicine, and holistic complementary. And so my goal is to really allow people to experience all these beautiful presenters, acupuncturists, hypnotists, coaches, nutrition, aromatherapy, you know.
I've never been hypnotized, but I like to see that, because I think I'd be a hard person, because you have to break down and you have to give confidence to that person when it comes to hypnotizing. Am I right?
You need to be willing. If you're going to resist, or, you know, right, the hypnotist, just like the medium that I just said, you know, we have to sort of complement each other at a certain place whenever we're going to do any of these modalities. Willingness. And some people get nervous or whatever, and they may interfere with a hypnotist being able to bring you, you know, like put you into the alpha state that they need to. You should go visit Greg back there. He does hypnotists.
Okay, I will talk to him. Just let him know that I'm coming, and I'll be right over there.
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, it's for people to explore, and that's why the expos that's part of the purpose. It gives people a chance to connect and explore what these modalities are.
The one thing I like about it is the fact that people can come here for holistic stuff, because the pharmaceutical people, they're making buku a lot of money, and believe it or not, they can cure some of this stuff by holistic purposes.
Absolutely. You know, well, I have to honor the allopathic environment, because it's not about, you know, bashing anybody or right. I'm not, you know, I'm just saying. And they save lives. They really do. I mean, you know what? Can we heal somebody if they have you know, a knife wound or a gunshot? You know, they need a surgeon, right? But it's when we get into that whole medicinal medication and diagnosis of feeling disempowered, that we're not going to get better, that this really kicks in. Because this is about defying your superpower, which is your spirit, and saying, I can get better, you know, because I have this amazing divine power, you know. And I've seen it so much throughout the years, you know, where people have been diagnosed with these chronic conditions, including myself, and it's so disempowering when somebody tells you that you're not going to get better, right?
Yeah.
And this, you know, spirituality, emotional cleansing, shamanism work, all of that's offered here gives you that chance to defy your spirit and, you know what, to prove that you can.
If people want to contact you, where can they contact you?
They can do so at blancabuyer.com. On Facebook, just look me up on the Blanca Buyer.
Can you spell that for them, please?
Sure. BLANCA and Buyer, BEYAR.com.
Okay, well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk to more people. Thanks to Bianca, and we're through with this one, but stay tuned for more.
Thank you so much for your support and for being here. I'm so grateful.
No,
thank you.
Thank you for letting me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. As you see the explosion because I kissed that woman. That's right. She got it good. Boy, but Miriam wanted me to let you know. What was that was supposed to say again, Miriam?
Staten Island Holistic Expo.
That it was the Staten Island Holistic Expo. Okay? Did I get it right now? Yeah. Okay, thank you. It's because Miriam will whip me into shape if I don't say it properly. So, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have that much time left, but I wanted to thank David Bowles and Jules Asperti. Right?
You got it. You got it.
I wanted to tell you, you've been in the music business for a while. What would you say to a person like her coming up now and myself? What do you suggest? Within 2 minutes time frame, if you can do it.
All right. Just take your craft serious. Take your craft very serious. You gotta love what you do. Don't do it for the money.
Right.
Do it because you love it, and everything else will fall into place. Just do it because you love it.
And take every opportunity you can, like
Yes.
for instance, shows like this.
Yes,
YouTube,
every single opportunity.
Open mics and so forth. So that's a good thing. So I know you wanted to mention a couple of things. So go ahead, knock it out.
I'm just gonna mention. Y'all can look at our organization. It's maleawarenessfoundation.org. Men's with Cancer.
Yeah.
We give out free checkups, free of charge. maleawarenessfoundation.org. Our body count band, Ice-T's body count band, that's out right now. They hitting number in the top 5 in the UK. That's bodycountband.com, theartofrapfest.com, and the dsnop.com. That's the DSNOP.com. Danny Winsnop.
And also for you, Jules, if people want to contact you, give them a Facebook, because people right now, there's going to be a lot of people contacting you now. So go ahead, give them a Facebook or something.
Yeah, well, if you want to contact me, I'm on Facebook at Gules Asperti, Gules space ASPERTI. Also have a SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/JulesMusic. I'm going to be releasing my EP soon, so it'll be up there in a month
come back
or two.
when you release it.
Yeah,
come back again. I hope you guys come back once again, and I hope you guys enjoyed yourself, right?
Yeah, good time.
Oh, I'm glad you said it so pushly. No, you're supposed to say, yeah, I had a hell of a time. No, I had a good time.
No, very good time.
But no, but you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I like to say again, my name is Hector Bosa. I am the producer and host of the HomeInvadersVarietyShow.com. If you like to come on my show, please again contact me on Facebook, Hector Bosa, at Facebook at Hector Bosa. Also contact me on HomeInvadersVarietyShow.com, and on Twitter I think I'm Mr. Home Invaders. Contact me on Facebook. I really would love to share your talent like I have today. Again, I want to thank Jules Asperti again, and David Bowles for coming here. I appreciate them, and they'll come again with more. One last thing, David, can you talk about the electric thing, please?
Oh yeah.
Before we go.
Right, yeah.
That was
when
funny.
I was little. Before hip hop became corporate America, I was so small. They used to give me the plug, And I used to climb up the light post and plug it in the light post, and we used to slide back down, and then we used to just DJ and party and break dance in the parks at night.
And so I also, that's funny. I also look forward for you bringing me more guests, if you know, because this is such a great show to be on. So, ladies and gentlemen, is that all right? Is she ready to sing, Miriam? Okay, so let's go to Jules Asperti. Yay.
All right. This one's called Harmony Mistress.
Is that for me?
Of course. Oh. Okay. Harmony Mistress is stepping away. Activated living for another day. Perpetually purple, try not to suffocate. Head underwater, but it tastes like lemonade. Born into the riches of hospitality, genetically sweet, patiently breathing, always napping with company. She was half mashed, but it was only 5:30, and she just couldn't seem to open her eyes. So life started moving counterclockwise. Now the sun don't seem to shine. Born into the riches of hospitality, genetically sweet, patiently breathing, always napping with company. Her authenticity, bless her creativity, despite her energy, flourishing flawlessly. Good girl harmony, always inspiring. Her jukebox kicking up a lovely melody. She's never organized, so pardon her perfection. She's quite reliable, but her songs are transparent, unique yet vulnerable. Wish she played the xylophone, youthful and zealous, so call her harmony mistress. Born into the riches of hospitality, genetically sweet, patiently breathing, always napping with company. Harmony Mistress has stepped away. Activated